dancing has always been something he's been a true flower that's been trying to grow, because, years ago, we used to watch Cocoa Varieties and Lawrence Well. I think it's been great for Dad to go dancing. I think he was scared to even do anything on his own right away. Um, it was a new adventure for him. I also think that he probably thought his vision maybe could have been that it was a bunch of old people.
Throughout Dad's life, work has been the primary goal. Work has been the primary function, and now he talks about other things. He talks about the people he meets. He talks about what he's going to do, as opposed to what he did.
In my life, I think I should be nice to myself and enjoy as much what I enjoy doing. The rest, I worked enough. Two places that I worked besides the other places, 44 years. I'm entitled to just take it easy and enjoy what I want to do for a change, not what I have to do. I was very shy when I first went, which is good, because you don't know who's with who, or who's dating who, or who's married, or so you sit back and you take nature to take its course. You don't rush in this stuff. You look around and you observe a lot, and I think that's the best way to do it, because if you're too forward, then people say, well, what is he after? I was born on December 31st, 1927, which is New Year's. I went to Canton McKinley High School, which was one of the biggest high schools in Canton at that time. Had a wonderful football team. I was not for any kind of sport because I was too small and had to work. I started to work in a market when I was 13 years old, and in the summertime, the people that owned the bowling alley had a used car lot, and I used to go wash cars and then go at night and set pins till 12 o'clock. I did that going to school. As soon as I was 16, at that time, it was during the war, I got a job at the Canton Stamping, making pots and pans, and I was working nights there and going to school. And I quit school when I was a sophomore, and I got a daytime job working in a stamping department, which was a lot better than the job that I had over there. Then I got drafted in the service, and then I volunteered so I know when I would get out in 18 months in the Air Corps. And I was a telephone linesman. I spent 1 year in Japan. And when I went in the service, I wanted to build myself up. I took boxing up, and I ran, and I always tried to do the best I could as far as keeping my being flexible and taking care of my health, and like to have a nice body. In the meantime, I was writing to my godmother, turned out to be my mother-in-law, and she didn't know how to write American too good, so she made my wife write to me. I'm telling you, I don't know, she really kept me busy reading letters. And I got out of the service after 18 months. Wasn't long after that we got married, and I moved to Cleveland. Got myself a job at W.S. Tyler Company, which I spent 22 years. We had 2 boys and 2 girls. And this is something that I give her a lot of credit, my wife. She was for education. We had a house on 34th Street, which is in the Cleveland area. And we fixed it all up and everything. And one day she approached me, and I had it paid for. She approached me and says, do you realize how many children go to college in this neighborhood? I said, what? We got this house all paid for. I don't want to move. But we did move. And we moved to Bay Village. And I think that inspired my family, my children, to get a good education. And I'm happy I wasn't a hardhead and didn't go along with it because she knew what she was talking about. I was inside and outside maintenance, anything that pertained to maintenance. But I had some specialties, which was roofs. Uh, Roof jobs were that was my responsibility. And then when I didn't have the roof jobs, I would paint, cement work, cut grass, pick papers, anything that was pertaining to keep the school system going.
Once Mom died, Dad was like, who is this guy? All four of us kids were going, like, what, who is this man? We really don't know him on a one-to-one basis. And, we had to like renegotiate our our relationships. And I think it goes both ways, because I think Dad had to renegotiate with each one of us kids, on how to deal with each one of us on his own terms and on our own terms. And I think I, I, I think there's an overall richness to the whole situation, because now we know each other because of who we are, and we're not being interpreted and explained to by someone else. And I think in the long run, it's a better relationship.
My wife passed away, and it was hard. I mean, she went through a lot of treatments and stuff, chemo and all that. She had a lot of support from the family. She was a wonderful woman. Uh, we all could. I think she gave us everybody in our family something to look up to her for, and she really kept the family together. She put a lot of time and effort as far as inviting everybody over for dinners and stuff like that. And she enjoyed cooking.
Take notes, Rich, because after we're gone, you guys get custody of these sausages.
All this out, boy, it goes quick, don't it?
Oh, Danny's got his little hanging muffin over there.
You know, the more you sharpen your knife, you'd be surprised every so often you have to do this, or it don't cut right.
You can taste this stuff in there. Do you?
I just wish that here they would remember part of this, because I think it's real important that they remember Grandma D frying, Nanu frying, and everybody eating and being together.
Your body is what you eat. It's that simple. If you eat bad food, your body's going to be bad. You eat good food. It's just like if you put cheap gas in your car, it don't run right, right? You put the good gas, and you get better performance.
And right next to me is a new dish that I found interesting, codfish. It's a codfish bake from the southern part of your Italy.
What we have over here is going to be about a, I don't know, 4 or 5 course meal. So just take your time, and we're not going to be in no hurry. And eat whatever you want, but clean your dish. Salute! I do have one regret, that Mom Wayne here to enjoy it with me, because she worked just as hard as I did. And we had a lot of plans.
Write checks, write bills out, go to the bank. I think that was something so overwhelming for him at first, and very frustrating, and probably caused a lot of anger within my father, because he had to learn so much in such a short period of time.
I never washed clothes my whole life. Grandma came over and showed me how, and cooking. I never cooked with Mom. I only cooked outside on a barbecuer. I learned that. Laying in bed and being alone. After Mom died, my son Chuck thought it would be a good idea if we would enroll in this here support group. And he enrolled with me, so I would go. And it was very interesting, and I was very happy. And I would recommend that to anybody after I went through it. But at the time, I could not see. I thought I could make it on my own. But it really opened my eyes to see really how people were, that the people that you associate with are going through the same thing that you are. And I retired, and then I found out I had that I had my arteries blocked, that I'd have to have an operation, and I went through a 4 bypass, and I adjusted myself to that with a big adjustment because I was never in a hospital. The doctor told me to exercise to build up my strength and make them arteries flow better. I go on a treadmill, then from the treadmill I go to the arm exercise, and then I have the ropes where they have weights on, and I work with that up and down, straight out. Then they take my pulse and my blood pressure, and then walk around the track a little bit more. And then about that time, one of the instructors come out, and we start doing calisthenics. Then I go a couple laps around the track again at a slow pace, getting ready to come home.
I doing the same thing to my dad as he did to me, and looking at the women that my dad dates and go, wow, I like this woman. She's great. I really like her. She's a good match for my dad. And they would break up. Or another woman he had dated, I really didn't care too much for her. I really didn't think that she was the right person for my dad, and it was frustrating because he dated her for a pretty long time. You know, you want him to have happiness. You want him to have a relationship with someone that, you know, makes the sparks fly. And I can see how frustrating it must be for him because it's a hard thing to find.
At our age, most of us are very independent people. And if we can't make it with somebody, we just drop them because life is too important. When I first started dating, I think it was, are you going to be accepted? Uh, how do you act as far as starting in this new situation? When you're married, like your wife helps you to coordinate your tie with your suit and stuff like that. And when you're by yourself, maybe you'll put a tie on and say, geez, I don't think that is not right. Let me try another tie. You don't have anybody to sort of guide you along or ask for opinion. Everybody likes to have somebody else's opinion on different things. But when you're living by yourself, it's you. Right now, I'll pick up Teresa, which is a friend that I met through dancing. She's a very good dancer, and that's how I got interested in dancing. She took the time because I was not much of a dancer. I'm still not much of a dancer, but I have improved, I think, a lot. People just love to dance with her.
Well, his dancing much improved. He was just kind of shy before I met him. He would just kind of sit in a corner and not do anything. So now he's a little more outgoing than he used to be. We meet a lot of nice people, and it's just great.
He's good people to be with. And I'm not saying that because he's your dad. I'm telling you because it's the truth.
You make all your time valuable that you can have time to go dancing and stuff. It's your scheduling. You have to know how to schedule your time. It's so enjoyable to see Teresa. And to see Teresa, and she likes to dance, so I don't think if I went to the dances, I wouldn't see her that often.
His casual clothes was a Muscle Man t-shirt and boxer shorts. And now it's more concentrated on a really nice image.
Dress code at these dances are very important. In fact, I heard something funny one time. He says, this one woman told me, she says, look at that guy over there with that polyester jacket. That's all he wears is that polyester jacket, and he don't send it to the cleaners, and he puts mothballs in there so it don't smell. The most important thing is hygiene. As far as how your breath, making sure that you're real nice and clean, women look for that, and they really tell you when you're doing a good job.
Gentlemen, good afternoon, and welcome to the Rocky River Senior Center Dance. We're so happy to join you this afternoon and wish you a very, very happy afternoon of socializing and dancing.
Well, like our parents, never had this wonderful opportunity to get out and socialize. And we started at Tri-City Center, which is in Middleburg Heights on Bagley Road. And that's where most of us met. So usually all the other beautiful ballroom dances like this one, it's usually the big happy family comes together.
Come here for a dance. That's what it is. It's a dance. And you can see right away the floor is full of people and they're enjoying it. And they like all kinds too.
It's becoming very popular, I think, all over the country as far as that goes, the afternoon dances. They seem to love the afternoon dances. It's a good way to spend an afternoon.
I'm satisfied with Teresa, okay? Somebody asks me to dance, you don't refuse, and she don't refuse, okay? Because once you start dancing with somebody, they know you look good out there. And a lot of women can't follow me, where we learn each other's habits, and we learn how we turn, how we pause, how we get together, and stuff like that.
Some women get very, very jealous if their boyfriends dance with another woman, especially if he seems like he really likes her. Then she really gets very upset, and of course there's a little argument about it. But most of the time they sort of make up and forgive each other.
I don't even have no interest in going out with a woman that's a lot younger than me. For what? Either she's going to use you, or she's going to make a fool out of you. I don't want somebody real old, but I want somebody more my age. I think we have more in common, and you can hold on to them more. I worry about being used, and there's women out there that will use you, because for the simple reason they don't have enough to live on. Talking to this one woman, and she says, you're retired? I said, yes, I am. She says, where'd you work at? And I said, well, I worked at the W.S. Tyler Company. I worked for the school board. Oh, you get 2 pensions then? And I says, yeah, but I didn't tell her I got 4 pensions, because she really would have.
I said, Dad, why don't you get her corsage? Well, why? my dad might be mentioning to his now girlfriend, oh, Giovanna used to make the best blueberry pie, and my dad and I would be talking, and I go, Dad, no woman wants to hear about another woman's blueberry pie. You can't say that. It's wrong. Don't go there.
He doesn't complicate things. He just says, this is the way it works. This is how you are, whether it's a machine or a process or it's evaluating human nature. Dad has a really uncanny way of like saying, this is the way it is. And believe it or not, it's pretty accurate.
Another thing my father taught me, if you have a quarter, you don't spend that whole quarter today. You spend a dime and you put 15 cents in your pocket. You have it for tomorrow. And nobody says that you don't have a penny in your pocket. When I see a garage nice and clean, there's no boards, there's nothing as far as like a 2x4 like this. Picked it up in the rubbish. Okay, one of these days I'll need a 2x4. Maybe it takes a little bit of room. How much room does it take? It's like this, a person will have to buy at least a 6-foot 2x4. Instead of picking it, you see it in the rubbish day or something. People, I pick it up. Why not? A piece of pipe. A piece of pipe like this. And people say, well, what is this good for? How about if you're taking a lug bolt off of a car, and a lot of times you can't break it. You put this, and how much leverage you have to break the nut, because in the garages they use these air wrenches and they really tighten them up, and sometimes it's hard to make them to break them loose. It's just like this bike. It was in the rubbish up the street. Don't have no seat. The rest of the stuff is a nice road bike. So for one of my grandchildren, I'll get and I'll put a seat on there. I think I'll have a pretty nice bike. And it don't cost nothing.
As a grandfather, my dad was able to really be supportive with my son, who was so ill, and he was able to take my oldest son to school every day. So he was able to come over and help out and be a part of my family, trying to get us through a bad time. And I think he really felt, tremendously needed. I needed him. And, it just wasn't something that was a part of a routine when we were growing up, because my mom did everything. And my dad worked very hard, and it was something that, just was overlooked at that time and not as important as it is right now.
Every time we had a child was a big achievement. Every time every one of you did something in life that was achievement to you was a proud day for me. As a father, to me, as a person, he mistreated me so bad it wasn't even funny. He mistreated my mother, my sister. He was a hell of a guy to get along with. I didn't have that love, and the little love that I gave to my kids, I thought it was tremendous. I would hate for somebody to call me a cheapskate. That's the worst thing a person could ever call me. You can call me a son of a bitch, you can call me whatever you want, but don't call me a cheapskate.